Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friends and Theory, your weekly dose of science and goodness applied directly to the ear. I am your host, Peter Batstone.
Also other friend, Zach Veru.
Yeah, that's him. Welcome to the podcast. This is going to be us bringing you what we think is the best, the funnest, the most interesting science news made accessible for everyone of all ages. Maybe not babies who can't speak the language yet.
Maybe if you played it for babies overnight or something, let
it sink in.
Seeps in.
Maybe you want to get those paddle speakers and put them on your unborn baby on your tongue for them to listen to, and they might get smarter. We can't promise anything.
They might get dumber also.
Yeah, no promises. We can't promise they'll get dumber, but it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah,
so what we're gonna do is we are just gonna talk to you.
We're gonna talk about some stories, aren't we, from the week, and also other ideas. What's been going on this week?
Okay, well, here's something I thought was really cool. It's the sort of thing I dreamed of being possible when I was 12. And that's that Stanford University has published a piece saying that they've managed to create the most advanced, fastest, best yet way of people being able to type purely through a brain-computer interface. And that's like Professor X level of stuff.
Right.
We're really getting there. It's really impressive. I sort of can't believe this is a thing.
Yeah, so I skimmed this quickly as well. It's like for people in comas or people who are paralyzed, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm not going to say it's super invasive, but you do have to, there's a bit of spinal surgery involved. So it's not just for people who are feeling like their hands are doing too much typing.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. But.
I mean, it's a long way to go, but it's 3 times as fast on the last version, I suppose, and it does work on this really cool idea of our bodies send signals through electric signals,
right? Electric signals,
if you will.
Body. Yeah.
And so this device is able to pick them up, and it translates them into what you were thinking about typing. And that's essentially the gist of it. It's really awesome.
Okay.
We're really making a lot of progress in areas like that.
So, are people going to be thinking letters? Are people going to be going, HELLO? Or do they think, words? I mean, how does it work? Do you know?
As far as I'm aware, it is a letter by letter sort of thing.
Right. So, just it's turns your brain into an input for the keyboard, basically. Almost.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. So okay. So quickly. So it would be like. It's a bit crazy than that. It's from the motor cortex. So you're sort of visualizing how you would move your hands and fingers to type the letters, I think. And then it's
right.
Directing a cursor on an on-screen keyboard. So it is a letter-by-letter thing. And the way they tested it was they would have the patients copy phrases and sentences. For example, the classic "quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog," and it is about 3 times faster than the best technology we have. So
that's pretty crazy, honestly.
It's really cool, and we've seen a lot of other areas being developed recently. Limbs you can move with your mind as well. That's almost old news now. How crazy is that?
Yeah,
Wait.
It's getting there. Really, we're going to talk a bit more about computer computer affecting human lives later on, I think, aren't we? But
Yeah.
that's cool. That's great.
What's that smell, Zach? Can you smell that?
I think it might be fresh news. Is it fresh news?
Yeah, that smells really fresh.
It's really fresh. It's I'll tell you what that scent of fresh news is. It's all about TRAPPIST-1.
Okay.
Which is the name of a star, I think. That's the name of the star. Anyway, I'm sure people have heard about this because it's been going around a lot since I first picked up on this. It's the discovery of 7 Earth-sized exoplanets in a distant system, which sort of represent some of the best possibilities for finding life outside the solar system, our solar system.
Zach, do you know if I started running now, how long would it take me to get there?
Well, that's a good that's a good question. Assuming that you can run at the speed of light.
Well, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but you know.
Well, yeah, it's 39, I think, light years away.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I mean,
that's not actually that far.
It's not, which is... I've got some relative things here, right? Okay, so from my house to the post office is roughly 1.05 to the power of minus 14 light years away.
Okay, so I could run that very quickly.
Yeah, pretty quickly. Yeah, especially if you could run at the speed of light. To the edge of the solar system is about 1.87 light years to the edge of our solar system. So it's about, well, yeah, you can see how much further it is than that. But then the nearest star from our sun is supposed to be about 4.2 light years away. That's Alpha Centauri.
Yeah.
And then we have TRAPPIST-1, about 40 light years away. And then, like, if we're talking next galaxy, Andromeda, that's 2.5 million light years away.
Okay. So
yeah, it's quite close in relative terms.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
The amount of searching we've done for that sort of Goldilocks range of what we consider the best conditions for life, they tend to be pretty far away.
Like the interesting, notable thing about it is that they've discovered these 7 Earth-size exoplanets. They might all be within a habitable zone. At least 3 of them are. They were saying NASA has been reporting about this. And the star that they're around is red dwarf star, which means it's a lot cooler than our sun. And all of the planets are
I think our sun's pretty cool, Zach. I don't think you can say things like that on the show.
Yeah. I mean, I did think of that joke, but I decided to pass on it, so I'm glad that you just caught it. Safety net.
If we didn't, someone else would. I feel like that's the way that this would have gone down.
Yeah. Right, yeah, fine. So... what was I saying? Close orbit. They're on a close orbit around the sun, which means all 7 planets are arranged on orbits. Even the furthest planet isn't as far from TRAPPIST-1 as Mercury is from our sun, basically. So you could fit all of those planets in between the sun and Mercury. And because of the proximity, that they're saying they think that they're probably all tidally locked, which is when a planet only has one of its sides constantly pointing towards the sun, basically. So one side of the planet is constant daylight, and one side is constant nighttime, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's going to make it maybe in some cases easier, but also in some cases a lot harder for life. But the thing is, we only have like one working theory of how life develops here on Earth, and for the most part, it's all carbon-based
It's
life.
sort of like less one working theory and more just a jumble of possible ideas. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but I mean, like, our general understanding of how life works is all sort of based on our experience of this planet.
yeah, absolutely. So perhaps in that twilight zone between the sort of constant day and constant night would be the best possible location for life to exist.
What, like, so if we got there, you'd go out into the light side, and then once you had enough, you just walk over to the dark side and call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a pretty impressive sight, like constant sunset, and each of the other 6 planets in the system would be hanging in the sky. So yeah, it would be a pretty nice scene, I think, probably. But
yeah, I
but
mean,
also you can get extreme weather patterns and climate because of the tidal lock. At least that's what people think, because the temperature difference could possibly get quite extreme, and then you have wind patterns following the temperature and things like that. So
yeah, the only
we don't
reason
really know.
Earth is really hospitable is because of prevalence of life. Like, even when life was in its early stages, or as far as we know, the Earth was still pretty bad. It's mostly rocks, hot
Yeah,
and bad. Not somewhere you'd want to go on holiday, definitely.
yeah.
I mean, you'd die, which is not the best.
Who knows? Apparently, we'll have closer atmospheric and climate data within 5 to 10 years. I think I remember reading, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
So TRAPPIST-1, you can look it up. It's all over the place at the moment.
It is on the internet. It can be found.
It's online. Also, fun fact: 39 light years is more or less exactly 12 parsecs. So there you go. Millennium Falcon could make that, as we know.
God bless.
Yeah. So yeah, TRAPPIST-1.
Okay, so Zach, I'd like you to imagine that it's now 10 or 11 days ago into the past. Okay?
Okay.
Are you there?
Hold on, one moment. Yeah, okay, I'm there now. I'm there.
What day is it?
February 14th.
That's right. It's Kiss Day. It's Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And this is
Yeah,
as close
that's
as we're gonna get this year. And this is something I thought would be great to sort of discuss. We had this idea of a theme, and that theme would be origins.
Yeah,
And
that's what the episode is called, right? Origins.
oranges, yeah. And
Oranges.
like, we all know about the big explosion. We all
Big Bang.
know about DNA. So I thought we'd go a
It's
bit
old
more
news.
wild. You know, romance was only 10 days ago. No more romance for the rest of the year. And so
I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot more than 10 days for me. But
no personal stuff, Zach. We talked
Sorry.
about this.
yeah, okay, fine. Go
So,
on.
so I'd love to talk about the origins of kissing. And when we all decided as a race that we wanted to get all wet and nasty in each other's personal space. So, Zach, first
Yeah, I
of
mean,
all,
it is pretty weird when you sort of think about it objectively. It's sort of an unusual trend to emerge.
yeah, and so I'd like you to take a quick guess, Zach. What percentage of the planet does the kissing?
What you mean, like sort of nationally?
No, if everybody on the planet was 100%, what percentage of everyone does kissing?
That's a big question. I'm
It's
gonna
a lot.
say
It's a lot of people.
I think like 40%.
Yeah, actually, pretty close. Apparently
Okay,
it's
nice.
46%.
46% of all people do the kissing.
Yeah, apparently the other 54% still think it's gross and weird.
Yeah.
But well, like
Yeah, that's
especially in a romantic sense, kissing in a romantic
Right,
sense,
okay.
and this actually goes back a long way. And Darwin wrote an essay on people kissing, which I know
No
he
way.
isn't really remembered for that, but I feel like it's important. I like to think he was,
Yeah.
on the Beagle, and he's surrounded by all, his dead animals in jars, and he's just thinking about smooching someone. But
Yeah, I mean,
he did make a lot
I'd
of
probably kiss Darwin.
observations as he was traveling the world, and he wrote that Europeans are so accustomed to kissing as a mark of affection that it might be thought to be innate in mankind, but this is not the case. And he would go on to list a bunch of places where they didn't want anything to do with it, and this was actually at the time we had it in our minds that nature was just like, I want everyone to kiss. It's the best thing to do. It's essential
Right,
for the survival of mankind. But he says he goes on to say, it is so far innate or natural that it apparently depends on pleasure from close contact with a beloved person, and it is replaced in various parts of the world by rubbing of noses, as with the New Zealanders and Laplanders, by the rubbing or patting of the arms, breasts, or stomachs, or by one man striking his own face with the hands or feet of another. And
Okay.
it does seem pretty alien to me.
So,
But
like, similar outcome, different method.
yeah, you wouldn't see that in a lot of the romantic films, where they have their big kiss conclusion, if they just sort of stood next to each other and started patting each other's stomachs. That might lose its edge with
Yeah.
Western
Man.
audiences.
And just started slapping each other. With,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like grabbing each other's legs and kicking each other.
I would like to see that, actually, probably.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting conclusion. So I read a big BBC article about it, and they reported that many hunter-gatherer groups show no evidence of kissing or desire to do so. Some even considered it revolting. And this is my favorite bit. The Mehinaku tribe in Brazil reportedly said it was, and this is in quotation marks, gross. Like,
Wow.
the whole tribe.
Is it just a tribe of, like, 11-year-old boys?
Oh, I'm not sure you can say that. No, I just thought it was it was
What?
really funny, but
Yeah, that's pretty
gross.
That's gross.
And apparently, it has evolved from what humans are really into with each other, and that's sniffing each other. And that makes it even more interesting because humans famously have a really bad sense of smell.
Yeah,
But-
I get, like, was it just, you just have to get real close?
We have to get real close and start sniffing each other. And Raphael Waldarski, I'm sorry if I've butchered that name, wrote in a 2013 piece that at some point this sniffing turned into physical contact, and kissing is like an assessment tool. It's important for intimacy. It can tell you like how well you're going to match with someone, and
Yeah.
a good kiss early on increases your chances of having a good long-term relationship.
That's good advice.
But yeah,
That's interesting.
so
So,
get
so
good
when
at,
did
get good at kissing.
when did
everyone.
Europeans start doing the kissing a lot?
I don't actually know.
Does anyone know? Put it in the comments.
Does anyone know when Europeans started kissing?
When did you start kissing?
when
That's
did
what
you-
I want to know. Put in the comments. Are you European?
When did you start kissing? Let's start a poll. So it goes on. It gets even more interesting when we start considering how animals do their dirty
Well,
deeds.
yeah. I was just thinking about the animal thing because, like, animals, I guess they like nuzzle. They sort of do grooming and things, but you couldn't
Yeah,
call any of
and,
it kissing.
so a lot of them, it's still a very smell-based thing. So black widow spiders, females, give off pheromones when they're hungry, and as we all know, being hangry is a major issue, and even more so in black widow spiders. If a man can smell that the female black widow spider is hungry, there's a good chance he'll die.
Yeah, I mean that seems pretty serious.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting one. And female hamsters release a pheromone that makes, this is their wording, it makes males excited. And I assume that's sexual, but I like to think it could be
sort of
excited for other reasons.
Yeah. That's traditionally what I think of a pheromone, I guess. It's like attraction.
Okay, and
is there a link to kissing?
Okay, yeah, because we still have that going on. We still have, we still produce all those nasty pheromones.
They're not. You don't know that they're nasty.
Oh, don't I, Zach? Don't I? No,
I guess I don't know.
And there are chemicals in our saliva that we like to share with each other, and it makes everyone very excited. And also, males in our species, we release the pheromones when we get all sweaty, which just adds to the further, just wet nastiness of it all.
Yeah. Very primal.
Yeah, it kind of is. But here's where it gets really interesting, is that through kissing and smell, we can kind of determine how closely related someone is to us. And apparently, we can also, it's important for establishing how compatible our major histocompatibility complexes are. And that is actually, it has a strong correlation with, relationship successfulness, romance, and genetic difference of the major histocompatibility complex.
Yeah, I've definitely learned about the major histocompatibility complex before. It's like it controls, or at least sort of is representative of how well people get along in that kind of context, isn't it? I guess about sexual selection and choosing a good mate.
Yeah, it has its purpose, and it stops you from getting all ill and having bad children.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. So kissing lots of people will make sure that your children are healthy.
I think that's how it works.
Okay, well, good. It sounds like we've wrapped that one up.
Well,
pretty nice.
I would. There is more on this.
I want to hear it.
Another reason we really enjoy. Okay, so just to clarify, only the 46% is the population of the world that does kissing purely for romantic kisses.
Romance, yeah.
So we're not talking business kisses.
Business kisses.
Yeah, when you seal a deal with your boss and you want to just give him a little kiss. No. Okay.
I've been in the wrong business, obviously.
Yeah, Zach. Because people will kiss each other on the cheeks. That's not necessarily romantic.
There are lots of other types of kissing than purely romantic.
Yeah, and we are not going to list a couple here.
No.
I'd like to keep this ball rolling.
Yourself.
The internet is your friend.
Don't search for kissing on Google. It'll not end well.
Use Yahoo instead, or Bing.
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 Yeah. Bing's a safe engine. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, and definitely humans for a while used to, chew their food up and give it to their babbies through mouth to mouth.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But there's more to why we enjoy kissing. Just going to read this short section here. Lip contact involves 5 of our 12 cranial nerves as we engage all of our senses to learn more about a partner. Electric impulses bounce between the brain, lips, tongue, and skin, which can lead to the feeling of being on a natural high because of a potent cocktail of chemical messages involved.
Okay, so we've got all sorts of chemistry going on.
It's not just how you smell; it's all going on.
Yeah, it's signals, like subconscious signaling straight into the brain.
Yeah. So just to bring it all back to the animal kingdom and how we anthropomorphize, animals doing things. You were talking about nuzzling and stuff like that. I'm going to send you a message to a gallery I found of animals doing things that we consider kissing. And unfortunately, the squirrel's kissing picture doesn't work, but all the other ones do. And
I was only really in it for the squirrels. I'm going to be honest. So
yeah, I'm sorry about that, but some of these are really cool. So at number 7, we've got chimpanzees. After they fight, after there's a big old fight going on, they tend to go and all have a big kiss on each other. Not like lip to lip, but sort of, kisses on the faces.
Right. So that's like a way of social integration, I guess. So
yeah, I'm sorry I hit you. Here's a kiss.
Yeah, maybe we should do that in humans as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of muzzling going on here.
We're gonna. Should we put a link to this in?
No, yeah, we will. But
comments.
I'd like you to describe number 10 to the wonderful people in our audience. Only in human terms, if you can.
Human terms. Well, I mean, so we've got some elephants here.
Well, now you've just given it away.
What? It's trunk interlocking is how I would describe it, but that doesn't really sort of fit with the human element, because I don't think humans have trunks.
If you read the description, when two elephants meet, each kisses by affectionately sticking its trunk in the other elephant's mouth.
Okay, I actually didn't read that. No, I see what you're getting. I see what you mean.
So maybe if you're looking to spice things up in the bedroom, maybe next time just stick your nose in your partner's mouth when you see them.
Yeah, I mean, well,
it works for elephants.
Yeah, sure. Let's leave it at that. That sounds fine.
I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with the origins of kissing.
I think, we're probably done. We don't need to record any more podcasts ever. I think that's it.
We've covered it all. So in short, sniffing got all nasty, and nowadays the amount of young people biting each other to express affection is significantly on the rise.
Okay, was that a summary? Because I feel like that kind of came out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, one of these articles reporting on this said that this may be due, in part, to vampires in Hollywood making the exchange look extremely good on the big screen.
Okay.
So, essentially, Twilight is bringing on the next evolution of kissing, in which you just inflict wounds on each other. Don't do that.
Well,
keep it strictly business.
Business kisses.
Business kisses only.
Business kisses only.
Weak and strong and wet and dry and right.
Hi everyone, Peter here, one of the small voices that is currently invading your headspace. I would just like to thank everyone who is still listening to the podcast and invite you all to connect with us. You can find us in most places as Friends in Theory, so YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud and iTunes, and we'll be on Twitter at @the_fatcast. Just a nice little abbreviation there. That's if you've got any questions you'd like to ask us that we could maybe address on the show. That's what we'd like to do, or any topics you'd like us to cover. And I would also love to ask, maybe beg. And I know we're fresh, we've just started out, who knows how far this will go. But if you did enjoy the show, please give us some feedback. Even if you didn't enjoy the show, give us some feedback. And if you think that you know somebody else who would enjoy it, please share it with them. And hopefully we'll be able to see you on the next show. Please remember to like and rate where it is appropriate. Well, I mean, if you did like and you feel like it's worth rating highly, I think that all goes without saying. And with this all out of the way, please enjoy the rest of the show.
Don't deny it. Leave if you can't stand the thought of
Are you doing all right over there? Oh man, is that the sound of highly critically acclaimed movie series, The Terminator?
Yes, that is in fact the sound of time-traveling robot skeletons.
Have we got Arnie on? We sent him a guest invite.
Yeah, actually, here's our first friend for our first episode, special guest Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hello, I'm very happy to be here.
Oh wow!
Hi, Arnie.
It's such an honor.
We're talking about the Terminator today. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time filming that movie.
I mean, we're not really talking about Terminator that much.
Oh.
So...
Well, I kind of feel a bit insulted that you invited me on here just to talk about my movies. I've done
Pete, just
a lot of work
Arnold...
in government.
Yeah, give him that animals kissing webpage and just we'll get on with it.
Okay, well, thank you, Arnold, for coming on. Special guest Arnold Schwarzenegger, everyone.
First friend of the show.
First friend. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, great.
Okay, Zach,
segue.
please.
Anyway.
Please get us out of this fresh hell.
Jesus.
Help.
So yeah, we're talking about artificial intelligence. Pete, what do you understand from the term artificial intelligence?
Well, we were talking about this earlier. Artificial intelligence is making a computer that can do a thing that a person can do. That's kind of my...
Yeah.
I'd say that's a good running theory of it. I'm sure we've all heard that story about that Russian robot that had an AI, and as soon as it was like switched on, it basically just ran away until its batteries ran out. We've made a lot of progress in the last couple of years. It's not just the enemy on Pong anymore.
When you think about it, AI has come a long way in just one generation. So, the idea of having a machine or a device that does something that a human can do is quite an old one, especially in fiction. But, from the 50s onwards, that's when they sort of started having those AIs that could play chess and stuff like that.
50s?
Well, 50s and 60s, those things started becoming like a bit bigger. The AI research.
I mean, they had those fake robots that was just like a guy with a microphone. Those were around.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure if they're AI or they might be something else entirely.
Well, it's fake AI, isn't it? Because people would come around and they'd say, "Come meet Harold. He's our talking robot." And he would say, "Hi, I'm Harold. I'm the talking robot." And then they can't see the cable, and it's like the Wizard of Oz. You lift up.
Are you suggesting that AI is a hoax?
No. I'm saying AI in the 50s is I don't know. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Well, apparently, the AI research sort of group was founded in the 50s. You can quote me on that, but it might be wrong. I don't think it's wrong. I was reading it earlier. And so you have game-playing computer programs, ones that solve like logical problems, basically. But obviously, stuff nowadays is a lot more serious. We have all sorts of robots and AIs.
Yeah, we've got AIs that can crush people who have spent their entire lives dedicated to mastering a hobby or game.
Yeah,
and
so
now,
the chess
now they can just be beaten by a robot.
chessbots is an interesting one because, like,
Well,
this is
the
another
Go
aspect.
one was a really good recent one.
Yeah, this is another aspect that I wanted to talk about a little bit later on, which is about intelligence. How intelligent can you make an AI? So we'll get onto that in a bit. Firstly, I thought this was quite a good story, right? So Wikipedia, right? We all know and use it.
Yeah.
It has bots that surf the many Wikipedia pages and make sure they're clean and tidy, and like they do links and replace names and things like that if they need to be replaced. And that's, I mean, by today's standards, by sort of AI standards, fairly simple algorithms, you'd say, right? It's like a search and replace or whatever.
Yeah, because I've seen some links and references in Wikipedia that are bad, or like link to themselves sometimes.
So obviously, people can edit Wikipedia as well, but they have bots doing like cleanup. But this is an interesting thing.
No, we're not here to dunk on Wikipedia's AI.
No, we're sponsored by Wikipedia.
We're not sponsored by
announcing.
Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure they want donations.
They're
not going to start paying us.
Go donate to Wikipedia, everyone. Also, so what I was saying was, so the Wikipedia bots, apparently since it was set up, have had invisible, just ongoing battles between each other for years and years. Like, the different bots just fighting over pages as to what should be there and what shouldn't be there. It's pretty serious, honestly. Like, so here's an example. Two bots called Darkness Bot and XQ Bot.
Okay, great names.
Have met on the field of battle over 3,500 times.
Wow.
And they've gone back and forth and undone almost 4,000 of each other's edits.
That seems like a bit of an oversight, Wikipedia. Do you reckon?
Well,
just the Codemaster he's set this up, and he's just created these two little bots, and he's told them like different rules, and they have to exterminate all of the bad people who break their rules. And now,
yeah, I mean, this is the thing because they're pretty simple. They have simple goals. But even with these simple algorithms, they interact in unpredictable ways. And I guess that's what you could think of as like the continuation of artificial intelligence, is like, can these bots react in ways that we don't predict? Which is true. That can happen. These bots just fighting all over Wikipedia. Which is, it's interesting.
Because, as I understood it, they had the coding to play nice and not ruin each other's work. But
well, you would have thought that they would all think the same thing, if you want to put it in those terms. Like, but apparently not. So yeah. And that kind of lab sort of predictions to what actually happens when you let AI loose has been played on a little bit by DeepMind recently. You've probably heard of DeepMind. It's like an AI research facility or program, anyway. One of the best in the world, I think.
Yeah.
DeepMind have done some research about agent cooperation recently, which is how well do independent agents, in this case AIs, cooperate together, and can they adapt strategies depending on the situation. So they did a little experiment based on game theory.
Okay.
Have you heard of the prisoner's dilemma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we go over it real quick?
Yeah. So with the prisoner's dilemma, right, the key thing is that the best choice for one person is actually not the best choice if both people do it. That's the key thing, right? So the actual dilemma comes in where if both prisoners take the natural choice of ratting out the other one, they'll actually both go to prison. Whereas if neither of them did, then they'd be better off. But because they can't discuss, like, the social dilemma element comes in where, there's an unknowable element which should change what a rational thinker would do. And how AIs interact with this is quite interesting.
Just quickly, like, doesn't one of them, if one of them rats out the other, and the other doesn't rat out the other, then the one who does the ratting
gets off free.
Yeah, and the other one gets a really bad punishment.
Yeah. But if they both rat out each other, then they both go to prison, which sucks for both of them.
Yeah, then a longer time if neither of them ratted, and that's how I understand it.
So, like, a rational agent should technically rat out the other one no matter what, but if they both do that, then they both lose out, basically. So that's the dilemma. So DeepMind did some testing on AI. They did a simple game which involved two separate agents, two separate AIs collecting apples in a virtual world, right? And they basically recorded how much they cooperated, and how much they did cooperate depended on the situations of, like, the context, basically. So when there were loads of apples, a simple AI would cooperate more often, and if there weren't many apples, that the AI would more regularly try to interrupt the other AI. So these two AIs, they could collect apples, or the other option they had was they could basically stun the other AI and prevent it from doing anything for a short time.
Okay.
So plentiful or narrow resources changes the behavior, which actually is mirrored in nature. That's what we see. But actually the conditions aren't. So this is sort of showing that the conditions in this type of dilemma can't really be accurately represented by just a binary choice between yes or no, because there's all sorts of interacting variables. So a more complicated AI, like one that could form more complex ideas, would more regularly just not cooperate and stun the other AI more regularly, which is quite interesting. Whereas in a different game, which was called Wolfpack, where it was much more beneficial for these AI who essentially acted as the wolves to try and catch a single target, it was much more beneficial for them to cooperate. So even a higher complexity AI in that situation was more likely to cooperate. And it's kind of this interesting parallel between nature and artificial intelligence in terms of behaviors. And it's interesting that artificial intelligences can emulate those behaviors as we would expect to see them in nature.
I feel like it's really important to say here, though, that, like, AI can be kind of scary, but you got to remember that each AI is just really good at one thing.
That's an interesting point, yeah.
Yeah, and so people are pretty good at a lot of things, so don't ever feel like you're not less of a person because of AI.
No, this is the thing. And it comes on to a discussion about superhuman intelligence, right? So a guy called Nick Bostrom, who you can look up, has spoken in the past about superhuman artificial intelligence. So, like, is it possible for humans to create an artificial intelligence that is smarter than a human? That's sort of, we don't really know how to answer that at the moment, honestly.
Because how can you make something smarter than you?
Yeah, it goes against what you'd think is logic.
Well, we're getting pretty heavy here, Zach.
Which is why even what we think of as very smart artificial intelligence is only very good at one thing, like you were saying, so like a chess-playing robot or whatever.
Yeah, because
Um,
if I'm sitting here playing chess, I'm thinking about how's my CV doing? Do I
Yeah.
need the toilet?
Right.
And the robot's just there thinking, I'm just chess.
Yeah, exactly.
Chess all the time.
Exactly.
He couldn't file tax returns. He couldn't.
And it's
get
this
milk.
kind of disconnect between human motives and kind of process and AI. We can't really assume that they're going to be the same, right? There's an example of from Nick Bostrom about a paperclip maximizer, which is an AI that has the single task of increasing the number of paperclips that exist.
What?
Right? Okay, so what do you think this AI would do? If your single task was to increase how many paperclips existed, what would you do?
Well, you could lobby paperclip companies. You
Right.
could change like market statistics about paperclips, or
But would you take over the world?
Yeah.
So,
If
so
you
that's
could,
the thing, right?
You'd buy up everything and just put it all into getting paperclips.
Yeah. So without any other interacting factors, an an AI that's sole
Is it
purpose was to
Clippy?
increase.
Is he back? Is this his
It's
ultimate
Clippy.
revenge?
Okay, it's Clippy. He's back. He's going to take over the world.
Oh god!
Because if you had all of the world's resources, that would allow you to create the maximum number of paperclips. But that's ridiculous, obviously. It's just like an example of how programming might interpret a situation differently to a human.
It's not just going to write letters to the companies and be like, "Hi, I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of paperclips. I was wondering if you could make any more of them.
Yeah,
I just don't have enough."
So, like, the fear of AI, as we see it in movies and stuff, is probably a bit different to how it would be in real life. But how long might it be? We don't really know. Elon Musk has recently been saying that he thinks that people need to become cyborgs in order to stay culturally relevant. Basically, like he said,
I'd love to hear you expand on that a bit.
Yeah, I got it a little bit. He said that if we don't want to end up as house cats, then we need to be able to compete with what artificial intelligence can do by melding our natural bodies with mechanical and digital elements, essentially.
I mean, maybe one day it would be like you
Yeah.
know, just plugging some more RAM into your brain or something. But
Yeah, so
sorry,
he is
downloading some more RAM. into your
download that
brain.
RAM, yeah.
But at
He
the
is
moment,
apparently working on a product called a neural lace, which would give human brains digital computational capacity.
Wow.
So, who knows?
okay. But,
Who knows? But are AI capable of conflict? Yes, they are. Will they take over the world? We don't know.
will Clippy become the Skynet of real life?
I mean, there's a pretty good chance.
I mean, I
I'd
felt
say-
like we should have asked Arnie that while he was here.
Yeah, he's gone. Where
He's
is he?
gone now. He's not coming back. No, he's gone.
No, he's gone. Okay, that's a shame. I mean, it cost us like millions of dollars to hire him. So
Yeah, I say he's gone. He's just outside. He might be
What's he
waiting
doing?
for some. I don't know.
is he at the bus stop?
Wait, someone's coming by. They're on their phone. It looks like they've just spoken into his phone. Okay, Arnie's taken their phone, and he's now destroying it.
No, Arnie. What is he doing that for?
I don't know. Maybe they were talking to Siri. It must have
Jeez.
been quite a taxing experience, traveling through time to kill John Connor. Right? Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Enough of this.
Yeah. It could be. So, AIs, what do you think? Post in the comments.
I thought
Like,
you were just
comment,
asking me,
subscribe.
but no, let's.
Well, I want to
Yeah.
know what you think too.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Don't worry, Zach. I'll leave a comment.
I want you to post in the comments though. I don't want you to tell me right now.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the latest New Scientist was talking about should we be afraid of AIs? And yes, there are AIs that can learn how to make other AI. We've seen a gambling AI that can get even better at gambling.
Yeah.
But AI still can't do stairs. So
Yeah, it's about a complete different interpretation of the world. And there's
what's intelligence?
what we can predict and like code in a lab will often behave unpredictably in the wild. Like, so self-driving cars is a pretty big one at the moment. It seems like the technology is really strong. But then what about, have you ever considered like self-driving cars? What happens when you are driving cross-country, or if you go into a different country, the laws change, but also the driving culture changes. Like, if you've ever driven from, say, England into France, or England through France into Italy, or something like that.
Yeah, but then on to like Bahrain, or...
They drive so differently.
It's somewhere a bit more wild with their driving laws.
Yeah. Would a car be able to keep up with that?
Well, as far as... I remember the first test, wasn't it like one of the first things it did was run a red light? And then they were like, nope, you had your chance. Back in the box you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's come a long way, but there are a lot of elements that maybe still need to be considered. So,
yeah,
AI.
I mean
next time,
a lot of potential.
I'm going to be playing Horizon Zero Dawn when it comes out, so maybe we'll learn the answers in that. We're sponsored by Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, we are actually sponsored by Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, please call us Horizon Zero Dawn. we left a message.
We
on your
miss
phone.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So wait, can you just can you answer an ethical question for me? Because I saw this come up the other day. So
I'll try.
With the rise of Clippy and his army of AI robot laborers.
Yeah.
Something I saw was, I can't remember who said it, but someone was asking, should AIs and robots have to pay tax if they're replacing human labor?
Right. How would they do that though? Like,
well,
you have to give robots wages before you can charge them tax.
Yeah,
don't you?
they go back to their little robot houses. No, I mean,
yeah,
because maybe through the company, like the company should have to pay like a robot tax or something.
Well, this is kind of, I guess, what Elon Musk was getting on about. Like, what do humans need to upgrade themselves in order to actually stay competitive in the workplace? Or, I mean, is it just going to get to the point where humans don't need to work anymore? So going back to the super intelligence that we were talking about, like, can humans create intelligence more complex than their own? It sounds unlikely, but if it's possible, then at some point we will have to face that question. And, once you do that, is that the end of human ingenuity, basically? If we create an intelligence that's smarter than us, then by definition, surely that means that intelligence can create intelligences smarter than it as well. So is that the end for human creativity?
Don't like this. We're getting into holographic universe territory now.
Basically.
I want out.
Like, if you create an intelligence that intelligent, I guess, like, it can just do everything, which makes humans either incredibly relaxed or completely obsolete. So,
or not even real, as some theories would suggest. So
anyway, let's not get onto that in this episode.
I'm going to put down yes to taxes then.
Tax robots, basically.
Okay, and
Clippy should be paying taxes.
Clippy should be paying tax.
That's our conclusion.
He's taken away work from spell checkers. Real spell checkers, the ones who lean over your shoulder and make sure you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
A quick reminder of how AI doesn't really get society. Do you remember Tay, the Microsoft chatbot?
Tay Zonde, no?
No, Tay.ai. It was this robot that went on Twitter and was taught how to be a Nazi.
Yeah.
And swear a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
which wasn't great.
Exposing an AI into the wild is always an interesting circumstance. I'm looking forward to seeing more.
More Tay, please. No.
Yeah.
Tay 2.0 will be better, hopefully.
The zero Hitler version.
Yeah. The Hitler scale has been set to 0. This time. Sorry, guys. I really goofed up last time.
Right, I think we've covered that's AI dealt with, I think.
Yeah, we've got it
that's
solved.
solved.
Arnie's gotten a taxi. He's gone now.
I mean, he was kind of intimidating, honestly. I don't know why we invited him. I hope he doesn't listen to this.
Something tells me he won't be back.
Jesus.
Come back again to make things stand with no disrespect to the end. High and low.
So just to sort of wrap things up, I thought we'd just blitz through some other really, really great headlines and pieces that have come out recently.
Yeah, there's a lot. You guys out there, if you're listening still at the end of the podcast, first, congrats. I mean,
thank you.
Jesus. Yeah, thanks. And also go look up some fun science stuff. Here's some. You start, Pete.
Okay, so this one is they found a correlation between dieting and people's presence on social media. So, and this is crazy, and we all know correlation isn't necessarily cause.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that something like that lines up, like how you you talk on social media affects how well you do as a diet man.
So it's supposed to be, if you are more vocal about your dieting on social media, you're more likely to succeed at it. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
I think I've got a paragraph here which should hopefully summarize this whole thing. Words
quick
and
summary.
phrases like train smart like a trainer, win like 6-time champion. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. And if we never stumble, we never fall. So just all this good vibe stuff. I mean, there's a lot of spelling mistakes in there actually, which is surprising. But that's okay.
That's okay. All right,
So
cool.
if
Next
you're
one.
you're just giving up positive vibes, being vocal, then you might do better on your diet. Okay, so next, do we have any broccoli fans in the house? Yes.
Oh God, is that Arnold? Jesus.
They're working on a new strain of broccoli that can go from seed to harvest in like 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks, which
Jesus.
means you can harvest like twice as much broccoli in the same amount of time.
Okay. So good news for broccoli fans.
Exactly.
I mean, I like my broccoli.
It's also going to be a bit tougher as well, so it can be grown in a lot more conditions, and I think that's really good actually, considering conditions are getting tough. Not necessarily for broccoli, but for a lot of different plants around the world at the moment.
Kids
That's
probably
from
still won't like it. So
the John Innes Centre.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Would you like to spin one for a quick ball this week?
I elected MIT led research by someone called Haywon Park has been doing some research on robots. It's another robot thing. I was on a bit of a robot sort of tangent.
Yeah, you really got into that robot mindset, huh?
Robots that were interacting with children. They were like designed to look all fluffy and cute and stuff. They found out that robots displaying certain attitudes had more of a positive influence on children than others. Like, so they had some robots that were giving very neutral, like kind of cool story, bro, I guess, type responses, and then they also had robots who were really eager and excited. And they did like puzzles and they told stories and stuff. And the kids picked up on it and were much more interactive with the robots who were excited and eager. So
I'm guessing
maybe
they don't
robots
have any
could be
negative
like
robots.
nannies and stuff in the future. Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, it's also just a testament to how positive reinforcement can be good and how it could be addressed. And I'm assuming they didn't have a really negative one there as well.
No,
Just
no,
as
they
like a
didn't
control
have one
group.
that just insulted the kids and
You
like told
idiot.
them
Do it
they
right
did
this
really
time.
bad. No, they didn't have that.
Okay.
Maybe that would be an interesting experiment to follow up.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if that's a study you're interested in conducting.
Yeah, please.
Okay,
So you got another one to finish this off?
Maybe okay. Here's another one. It's about meditating mice and how, and again, we love to do studies on mice, and this one was, we finally understand how sort of mindfulness and meditation decreases anxiety in people. You know, it helps you focus.
Okay.
And I mean, it's not quite as magical as it sounds. Unfortunately, they were sort of blasting the mice brains with brain waves and radiation.
Okay, yeah, that isn't quite as happy, fun closing statement as I was hoping.
Well, nothing bad came of it. Like it just kind of made the mice chill out, and they were observing how the brain works and stuff. So that's really cool. I like it when they just look into something that we don't really think about, and they're just like, oh yeah, it works because of this.
Everyone out there, chill out, okay?
Yeah, calm down.
Jeez, calm down.
Put it down. Put that down. Come on, please. Not in front of the kids.
God.
That's a good statement as any to close on.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you everyone for listening to this initial train wreck of the Friends and Theory podcast.
Friends and Theory.
Hopefully next time we will be two friends, two theory.
Yeah.
Hopefully with Vin Diesel.
Oh man, I can't wait.
We'll
Are we
see.
just gonna have a string of like high budget action movie stars on our show?
Well, I mean, we may have set the bar a bit high, but real talk, we'd like to have some guests on and talk more about other cool stuff that's going on in the world of science.
Yeah, we'll do more. We're going to talk about more science, more random crap that we make up, and other stuff. So
yeah. So the music that you've heard throughout this episode is the song "And" from the album Good and Evil by Tally Hall. It's a band I love a lot. You should definitely check them out. And just to close things up, here's a headline from New Scientist: Bees learn to play golf and show off how clever they really are. Thanks again for listening.
Yeah,
I've
great.
been your host, Peter Batstone.
Yeah, and I'm Zach Baru. Catch you next time, hopefully.
Bye!
Bye!